Morning Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.
Wednesday morning, running into another wet one, a wet Wednesday, at least around the city. Not too sure things are looking on your end, but when we open up the lines later on, feel free to let me know. Jason Williams, that's my name. I'm signing on as we get into the latest installment of your Morning Brew, and today it's action-packed, lots of conversations all the way until 8 a.m. As always, only on a Thursday. I'll leave a little bit early and we make space for Ian Wason, who will dive into the morning shot that's happening tomorrow. And there's a very interesting development via our sport page with the senior women's football team. I'll give you the details momentarily, but let's see what's happening via the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, our front page for today, Wednesday, the 22nd of October, 2025. 600 jobs on the line. Nutrien threatens a shutdown over retroactive port fee dispute with the government. However, the Minister of Energy, in consultation in talks with the Canadian fertilizer giant, and they announced yesterday a controlled shutdown of its operations at the Point Lisa's facility. And that's a massive operation. Huh? That's a massive facility, and they provide well, fertilizer and stuff are very big within that agri sector. So we'll see. We have to look at this development. Lots happening via the blame game. You know, current administration blaming the last administration saying mishandling. So you're getting that back and forth, that tennis match, as it were. But this is a major development, and it's one that could impact the estate. So we keep our eyes on this fluid story, and we'll give you the latest once more information comes to hand. As we go back to the front page on this Wednesday morning, this particular story of the $16.3 million spent by the state on the paralegal fees doesn't sit well with me at all. And I, just like the lone survivor, I'm asking a simple question. Money is sorted out to pay legal fees to do this big inquiry where ultimately nothing so far in terms of anybody being held accountable or any serious decision or judgment being made on those who dropped the ball. Remember, lives were lost, huh? And in that regard, the earning potential is no more for the families who would have lost their loved ones. And what's the compensation? Where is the treating with the families who would have been impacted? All the men, yeah? And the survivor, who, I mean, he is up in arms, and rightfully so. And that story here is on page 9. I mean, he calls it, not my words, he says, quote, it's a feeding frenzy, end quote. And it makes a really good read this morning, and it's one that really, it didn't sit well with me at all, looking at this particular development. Also, we are seeing the Chief Justice, Ivachi. He leaves office today after 17 years of service. That development on page 6, whatever are your plans now? We wish you the best. I know one person who is doing the happy dance this morning, one of his most vocal critics, Israel Khan. Oh goodness, that was a back and forth for a long time. But I guess, his own reasons. He says in the news last evening, I'm paraphrasing, he said Trinidad was good to him and he hoped he was also good to Trinidad and Tobago. I hope whoever takes the particular mantle, takes up the role, could really bring some more legs to the judicial system. We're talking here speed, functionality, people getting their particular case heard in a manner that is just, is in keeping with best practice, because so many are sitting for years waiting to be heard, and that is what causes so much frustration within the prison system. the jailers, men who are actually making the time. They're not the ones who misbehave, it's those folks who are in remand waiting for their case to be heard, and the constant adjournment and the tiptoeing and people sometimes taking years before a particular case is heard. I think that putting a serious strain on the system. I know obviously outgoing Archie would have tried his best, but I'm just suggesting here, whoever's coming into the hot seat, hope they could change that particular reality within our judicial system. What needs to change also, I would suggest, is our attitude and how we treat with utterances and our behavior within the House. Yes, whether it's the Senate, whether it's the upper house or the lower house, where they treat with making the laws. I want you to listen to this video and honestly tell me what you think. I'll give you my opinion on it, but again, this is some action from the budget debate. They have their financial committees. They're doing their debate, they're back and forth right now. So they're in Parliament, well, in the Senate, of course, and they're doing the back and forth. And this was an utterance coming out of the Parliament yesterday. Take it in.
No, if I were to...
May I ask my question, please?
Sometimes people vertically challenge like you must raise their voice to get attention.
You think so?
Go ahead.
You think so?
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah, it's
Come
not
on.
funny.
I apologize if you think it's not funny.
It's not funny.
So that's the Speaker, Jagyu Singh, acting in his capacity there, because you know that Wade Mark is acting president at this point in time. Now, I'm no fan of Mr. Imber. A matter of fact, many, once you live in Trinidad and Tobago, would have known for many years that particular politician, that individual called Colm Imber, has been very disrespectful to many, including myself. And I speak my truth. I mark my words. I am very, very open with my particular dialogue on the program. And whatever happens after, hey, so be it. But I speak my truth and I stand by it. But I found the conduct yesterday by Mr. Singh was unbecoming. It's not, to me, what you expect from someone who's supposed to chair and govern and referee these personalities within the Parliament. And it speaks to, again, this particular call that's been made of bias and what kind of old talk is that? That is not the kind of conduct for anybody who's supposed to chair these personalities. And these are big personalities, and there's disrespect on both sides, left and right, and who walking out, and who pelting talk, and who saying sit down, and who saying who you're talking to. And it's going to get to a point where we have seen the videos out of Philippines and parts of Africa and India, where a man crossing floor on his microphone stand. We wanted to get to that? Jump kick and karate elbow? No, unacceptable. I find that behavior there to be unwarranted, unjust. Again, there are many who saying, well, hey, if it's one person who deserves it, is Mr. Imber, based on his conduct over the years. And again, this is not me speaking some kind of parable. It's known in the public domain. Mr. Imber is a different kind of individual. However, whether it was Mr. Imber, whether whoever it would have been, once that's almost like there's a body shaming kind of scenario. You're talking about somebody's height, you could talk. It's no different than talking somebody's weight. And that coming in a place where it's supposed to be conducting the business of the people. No, that better than that. We have to move up. I think we might get more maturity within a kindergarten at this point in time. From the outside looking in, it's shameful. And it's truly unfortunate. And hopefully, again, this will be one of those moments where people might laugh it off and, we move on to another development tomorrow. But if it gets to a place of extreme low, remember where it started. Remember how there were a chain of events that caused it to get to a place where, and funny enough, we saying it like it's something that seems far-fetched, but it's not as far-fetched. Because again, we have seen in parts of Eastern Europe, Africa, India, right in South America, we have seen where people jump over table and is shoes to jaw, right? thing pelting, and that's the kind of heat and the kind of venom and the kind of, unfortunately, I don't like to use this word, but hatred that many parliamentarians outside they would have shown. And I guess gone are the days of people, pelting talk on the floor but knocking a glass down in the tea room. It seems to me there's a real venom and a disdain within the parliament. And I just hope that ultimately those who are chosen by the people, by the way, those who are chosen by the people to conduct the business of the said people could show some maturity and get down to the said business. So just have to show that there. Obviously, feel free, give me a perspective when we open the lines. After 7, I stand by for your commentary. Final piece via the front page. Well, the fishermen in the carcass, it's business as usual, Despite all what's happening and drone overhead and, the military presence of the U.S. in the Southern Caribbean Sea, the men have to live. And I wish them the best, and I agree, they have to go out. They have to go out and work. I guess they just have to stay closer to land. You can't really go too far out in the waters, but nonetheless, to the fishermen out there, keep it safe, and you stay on the right side. Let's head to the back page, as mentioned. Well, other than the West Indies win in the Super Over, well done. Well done to Akil. We was actually supposed to, we're still going to get him on at some point. We would have get him on last week, but we had so much of the budget discussion, we didn't get a chance. But I think once he's available, we'll try to get a Zoom link up, because he just wants to tell a story. Really amazing guy from Laventil to truly amazing story, and he continues to shine and make all of us proud. So well done. He was kind of instrumental in that win yesterday. So now it's down to, at least the series is leveled. All right, so all the best to the men in maroon out there. Of course, Arsenal with a big win yesterday over Atletico Madrid, 4-0 in the Champions League. Big wins yesterday also for PSV and Manchester City. Some more games today via the Premium European Club title, competition. When we look at the local competition, we get the ball rolling on Friday at the Dwight York Stadium in Tobago, in the midst of all the carnival. Jablote will play Police. This is at the Dwight York Stadium, Friday, October 24th, this Friday, for the official kickoff of the 4th season, Tier 1 of the Trinidad and Tobago Professional Football League. Now, Coach Angus Eve, who was appointed the head coach of the senior women's team about 19 days ago, sending his resignation papers. He walked, that's it. You'll get some details inside The Guardian this morning, but it seems like there is an internal fraction. There's some kind of issue with some of the players, and he would have taken a position. Some of his staff members took a position. So it's a kind of, I feel it's a kind of ego thing playing off now. Angus don't play them kind of game. He's a serious man, and he's not in for that kind of bacchanal. As to what's really happening behind the curtain, I'm trying to make some calls to find out, and once I get some information, I will share with you. But I'm sure Ian Wason will go into more intimate details tomorrow via the morning shot. But it is a serious situation, because we're going into some qualifiers next month as the women try to make a World Cup. And I think that is happening next year in Brazil. So, Coach Eve, I mean, it is what it is, right? But he sent his working papers. That's it. It's a wrap. We go to the brief on this Wednesday morning. The mayor aims to make Shogunas a Diwali tourism hub. So that's the mandate, the ethos there of the Shogunas mayor, Faik Mohammed. Really cool guy. Great interactions every time I see him. Seems very vibrant, young, and on the ball. So I wish Mayor Mohammed the very best. And of course, that's his particular vision for the borough, especially when it comes to Diwali. And I'm looking at a moment to remember Venezuelan singer and two-time Latin Grammy winner Miguel Ignacio Mendoza, also known as Nacho, greets a fan during his first performance. Well, his first concert in Trinidad is Fiesta Latina. This was held at the St. John's Ambulance Hall in Woodbrook on Sunday. That's right. All our Spanish brothers and sisters went out and had themselves a great time. Fiesta. Yes. We take the pause. We get ready. We get into some more of the post-budget analysis. That's right. Professor Roger Hussein joins me. And I look forward because, you know, there's a man who does bring numbers. So economist Professor Roger Hussein is going to break it down and give us his economic outlook. The budget post-mortem continues after the break.
Just got your CXC or CAPE results? Then start your degree today at CTS College and choose from many of our pathways in business management, business administration, human resource management, marketing, finance, management information systems, computer engineering, computing and information systems. Full and partial scholarships are available. CTS College, where education is beyond academics.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh-cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Shagonas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Would you recommend this product to younger people?
Age doesn't really matter. So I think if I was 17, 18 and I get introduced to these products, I would maybe be Superman. So
More Superman?
More Superman.
Absolutely outstanding!
Victor, why are you still living with bad odors? Instantly refresh your spaces with Febreze. Smell like leftover fried food? Instant freshness. Febreze, your home smelling fresh and clean. Find the limited edition at your favorite store or supermarket.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Welcome back. Professor Roger Hussein joins me on the Zoom line, economist and a man who brings the empirical data. He goes through the numbers, well, if ever there was, as they say, you know, going through with the fine-tooth comb, with the microscope. That's you, Professor, and I look forward to your assessment of the budget 2026. Great to see you as always, and good morning.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for the invitation.
So when you did the postmortem, you really went through the numbers. One, are we able to afford some of what was promised? I'm seeing, well, up till yesterday, the Minister of Finance said that when it comes to the 10%, well, some of the resources not there just yet. We look at what was done via the number that was pegged to, well, in terms of the expected or the projected price of the barrel compared to what is the reality. So walk us through some of the numbers and if it's adding up, if the maths is mathsing, as it were.
Now, the first thing is that the government had about 5 months to prepare a budget, and they prepared a budget. I'm sure that the technocrats in the Ministry of Finance would have had the framework for the budget in place, regardless of whoever had to present it, and the political party that won the election would put in the specific numbers and the specific changes that would be linked to their party policies. So that was done. You know, I follow intercollegiate football and college football. I like to see it. And a team could come out and say, well, tomorrow we are going to beat Team X. We are going to play 4-4-3, and we are going to beat them by doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And what you have to wait for is to see the actual game and if the team strategy would work and how it would unfold. So planning on paper and talking before the game is different to when the actual game is played. What you hope for is that what you plan would work out and that you would see the outcomes of what you plan. And they say in a similar way, I see the budget. You know, some numbers were presented in terms of the amount of revenues, in terms of the amount of expenditures, and we have to hope that this is achieved. Whether or not the 55.3 billion in revenues will be attained depends upon how the oil prices and gas prices go for this year. Some people say that the oil price, for example, is because the market may be characterized by a glut, may be a bit high. That argument may have some merit in it. Some people, the gas price is much more difficult to compute. So there has not been much chatter on the validity of the gas price. And again, we will have to see how that works out. But one of the things I do know is that the former government had made some changes in the way gas price, in the way the amount of revenues we receive from gas was measured. And so the gas prices is much more complicated. I think it takes three different benchmark criteria to work out the amount of money we get from gas. But I am hopeful that would happen. But more than all of that, there were a number of changes in the budget, like, for example, with the NIS, that I think was a positive start. The people on the street seem to be very happy about the decline in fuel prices. I wouldn't have declined fuel, lowered fuel prices, but the people on the street, after several years of pain, express a lot of joy and happiness as to the decline in fuel price, and I am happy for them. So it's still very early days to pronounce in one form or the other, but I do have some concerns about some of the revenue numbers. I am just hopeful that it works out in the direction that the government has pointed.
So when you look at the low-hanging fruit, obviously many in Trinidad and Tobago, because of our culture, that liming culture, part of the entertainment routine is to have a sip and to take a pull. Obviously, they've put a major levy on what people associate with the liming culture. You thought it was a bit harsh. It was one of the heaviest, because many in the last, we would have seen previous administrations also, raising the drinks and the smokes, but clearly this one was very significant. Your perspective on that?
No, I think that was a good move. I think that was a good move, Taxing alcohol and cigarette, those are vices of people, and it's an easy place to raise revenue. The demand response tends to be inelastic. One would even make the argument if it could have been higher. So I think that was a good move. I felt they could have been tougher on the import of luxury cars, much tougher. Very little was said about the import of luxury cars, although some conversation did take place about foreign used cars. And I felt that there should have been more discussion on the Exim Bank. The Exim Bank, to me, is a place where, rather than selling foreign exchange, we need to be lending foreign exchange, and lending that foreign exchange or selling that foreign exchange only to firms or mainly to firms that generate foreign exchange. Other firms should face in the commercial banks, because we have such a strained foreign exchange situation that the Exim Bank should be more of the vehicle for growing the stock of foreign exchange. So we lend you in Forex and you repay in Forex. Now, I know some changes were made and there were steps in the right direction, but I don't know if it were enough, if it were deep enough. This country, when you take the difference between reserves and external debt, we are down to about -1 billion. And when you look at the IMF World Economic Outlook, the database associated with it that came out, I believe, last week, you would see that we were the 8th worst performing economy in the world for the time period 2015 to 2024, if you use average real GDP growth as criteria. And so we have a lot of ground to cover and a lot of work to do. So start in the levy that was imposed on alcohol and cigarette and things, that's good. That's very good.
No, but let me ask you, because I want to dig a little bit deeper with that particular levy on the alcohol and cigarettes, because we have to consider Trinidad and Tobago being, as would have been mentioned over years, this mecca, especially when it comes to the carnival. Ultimately, this price point will be passed on to the patrons, the masqueraders, the party goers. Do you think ultimately we will outprice ourselves? Because when we look at the global carnival market, there is competition. There is competition all over. So I wonder if we will ultimately outprice ourselves.
That's an inelastic good. People come here, they enjoy the ambience, they see beautiful women, it's a nice culture, it's a nice...
But what if, Professor, they can't afford it anymore, and you're getting an option in Grenada or in Barbados for way cheaper? Why come and try that?
$20 for a beer for a tourist, that's affordable, that's part of the package. What we have to hope for is that when they receive this money from the levy, from the taxes on the beer and the alcohol and the cigarettes and whatnot, that they help improve the crime situation. That's the important variable. If we improve the crime situation and we keep the streets cleaner and there are less robberies and less murders, we may even get more tourists. So, but to me as an economist, it's an excellent place to collect revenues, these type of goods. And we have seen that over the years. This is not novel. The changes made to taxing alcohol and cigarettes this year, this has been going on for about 20 years.
Yeah, of course, yes.
And to me as an economist, it's a very good place to collect some easy revenue.
Yeah, as I said before, we have seen it from previous administrations. A low-hanging fruit, and they always go for, obviously, the luxury goods, as they say. Any concern about the nutrient development down Point Lisas? I saw that on the news last evening. What's your take?
Of course, it's a major concern. It's a major concern. And I hope that the Prime Minister can intervene or the Minister of Energy and resolve this matter. We need a certain degree of level-headedness, a certain degree of calm. We need people to pay their port fees, and we need the appropriate dialogue to get it done. No, you could probably wring a hand, but no choking, no excessive behavior. So I am hopeful that the authorities would be looking on, the policymakers would be looking on. We have a Minister of Energy, we have a Minister of Finance, we have a Prime Minister, and if the NGC folks need some supplemental assistance, so be it. But this matter has to be resolved in a manner and form that will not hurt Trinidad and Tobago. We cannot afford to lose nutrient. We already have the refinery closed. There are several plants that were closed in the last 10 years in the Point Lisas area. So we cannot afford to continue that momentum. So I hope good sense prevail, dialogue takes place, and the matter is resolved.
On the topic of employment, I'm seeing the government keeping their word on their employment drive. Yesterday, thousands, a matter of fact, what they're suggesting here, went out to the National Cycling Velodrome in Couva to sign up. Now, I'm seeing different ministries there and different positions and vacancies, but I wonder what will happen. Now, some of these jobs look very technical jobs, professional jobs. What's the perspective as it pertains to those who would have been doing, let's say, well, as we would have seen with the CPEP and the URP? Yes, I know there will be some openings, and there's that mention of more sustainable and productive employment. What can the government do to ensure that everyone is covered, especially those people who would have been unemployed?
I don't think the government could make sure that everyone is covered. I mean, they simply don't have the financial means again as before. I looked at the numbers for CPEP and URP, and I am fully in agreement that they should be cut. I'm fully in agreement that there's surplus labor and the average productivity of worker is amongst the lowest in the country. So that was a good welcome move in halting CPEP and URP. They need to restart some version of it, maybe for 10-15% of the workers, and let the other 85% of the workers look for job on the free market. There are opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago. Most employers now have to turn to Spanish-speaking people with whom it is difficult to converse if you are not fluent in Spanish. So the 85% of the CPEP and URP people that have to face the job market will not find it very difficult to find job in the context of the skewed nature of the employment structure of the Trinidad and Tobago economy. So that's one hand. On the second hand, the drive to employ more workers by the government and meet their political promise, it's good. As long as they have budgeted for the money to pay these workers, that's fine. And I think we should welcome a Prime Minister that is trying to keep her word after the election on various promises that was made. So that's a healthy development because remember, our labor force participation rate is down to 55%, one of the lowest in the Western Hemisphere. And our economically inactive population is very high and it is growing. So that not this graph. There's another graph that shows the effective economically inactive population is rising. It has increased by almost 100,000 in the time period indicated here. And I've taken out students and I've taken out people over 60 years from the data. So this is people who have probably joined gangs or stand up by the side of the road, linemen or whatever they do.
Well, Professor, I'll let you elaborate, but I'll tell you this. When I walk the ground and I talk to the average groundsman, what they say, especially as you mentioned, our brothers and sisters who are Spanish speakers, whether they're from Venezuela or far removed, employers who will bring them into a project, one, are paying them below the standard rate, some, not all, and I guess ways to evade taxes and all this kind of stuff. So you're bringing this cheap labor force, and that's why so many trainees who are able to work are suggesting, listen, I'm not going to, it's like I almost getting undercut, or they're not willing to work for the bare minimum. So I think some people just decide, hey, they're not going to go through that and they stay home. Now again, chances are we'll go overseas and do the exact same thing our Spanish brothers and sisters are doing here at home. But I wonder if it's a deeper issue, a deeper underlying issue as it pertains to employment with especially young, strong, and able-bodied.
What I would say to you is this. I would say to you that the people of Trinidad and Tobago have to come to terms with the fact that our gas production now stands at 2,500 mmcf per day, as compared to the years of plenty when it was about 4,500 mmcf per day. That's an enormous difference. And even if Manatee comes on stream in the medium term, we are not going to cross 3,000 mmcf per day by any significant amount. All of this to say that we don't have the type of money circulating that we used to before, and therefore we have to recalibrate to this new setting. And in this new setting, there is also about 60,000 Venezuelans or so on the floor looking for work. And in this new setting, we have to compete with these Venezuelans. I'm saying that the market for Trinidad-speaking workers still has space. Because when you absorb all these Venezuelan workers, you still need Trinidadian workers to help complete the production function, to pass on instructions, to work with them, to lead the show. And that's where the opportunity lies. Now, pulling out of the labor market means you have no income. Staying home means that you have no income. And we have to accept the reality that we don't have as much money as before. We can't pay the same wages as before. And therefore, the presence of the Venezuelan helping to create more competition and lowering the wage rate is a necessary starting point, given the situation in the Trinidad and Tobago economy. But from there, the wages will grow as the economy grows. So I think people should look for work. There are opportunities, but certainly the days of URP and CPEP, in terms of how it was yesterday, I can't see it happening again. And if it were to happen, we have to challenge the government and say we don't have money for creating surplus, job opportunities with very low labor productivity and with surplus labor. We have to be practical about it. I am surprised to see people arguing about keeping CPEP and keeping URP, and that's because they haven't done the numbers and looked at the numbers. But the numbers are there, and we have to face the reality. It's characterized by surplus labor, and it's characterized by very, very low average productivity of labor. So I think it was a good move. Absorb back the very most vulnerable and dependent, and let the rest of them go on the market and find work.
Professor, as always, thanks for the perspective, bringing the numbers and giving us a deeper look into some of the major talking points. Let's touch base soon, see how things pan out with the debate, and we'll get a chance to dissect some more, I'm sure, in the weeks ahead.
Have a very good morning. Take care.
Same to you, Professor Roger Hussein, economist, touching base and giving us some perspective. We get ready for some more via our post-budget analysis 2026 this time around for those within the automotive industry and the incentives. We touch base with the Trinidad and Tobago Automotive Dealers Association, their president and vice president. Join me next.
feeling off balance? Your body might be missing AMPK. It's your natural reset, regulating how your body stores fat and processes sugar. Berberine Plus activates AMPK, helping your cells use energy better, reduce fat, and keep sugar levels in check. Berberine Plus, now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide.
I have been shopping at Price Club from the beginning. I love most of all the friendliness of the staff.
I shop there because my children love meat and I love.
My favorite section is the vegetarian section. They have such a wide variety, which I love.
I have been out shopping, to check out the prices, but here at the Lewis, it's the best.
I have tried other places and I came right back to Price Club because they are the low price leader.
Let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Brand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Brand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Brand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Okay, I see you. Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right, now kick left, now step forward, now step back. Lucozade, bring the energy.
This morning, welcome back as we get into a discussion with the top brass of the Trinidad and Tobago Automotive Dealers Association, their president, Visham Babua, and vice president, Rondell Fields. They join me on the Zoom line. Good morning, gentlemen. Can't wait for our discussion. Good morning. Well, we're looking at the budget 2026 and the automotive incentives, some of the developments with the electric vehicles, luxury vehicles. We're looking at the age of the foreign used for light commercial and private vehicles. Generally, the outlook, you feel, is this budget that could help grow and keep the wheels of your business turning? I'll start with the president. President Babua, you could go right ahead.
Yes. Well, Jason, good morning again. The budget from our point of view has been a very good budget in terms of the whatever happened for the automotive industry. The age of the vehicle has now moved to 6 years, and those are not all the vehicles. Those are for the gasoline and CNG vehicles. So it would give the citizens a wider range, a choice now, where they could get certain vehicles that wasn't available for the last few years or was at a much higher cost. For example, like the 80 wagon, which is one of the flagship vehicles that we continue to bring in. And it was out of range for a lot of middle and lower income citizens. So now they could purchase those vehicles once we get the legal notice to bring those vehicles in. We can't bring it in immediately because the date for that to take effect would be the 1st of January, and we still have to get the legal notice to be able to import these vehicles. So it was a good move. It was a good move that we had discussions at the latter stage with the minister. We went to Minister Gosain, and then they had proper discussions with us, and they took our suggestions, and they were able to implement it in the budget, which we are happy for because consultation is extremely necessary with the relevant sectors in order for things to happen properly.
And I'm seeing 7 to 10 years for the light commercial vehicles. That's, if you could describe that for us, for those looking on.
Yeah, the light commercial vehicles, we had it up to 7 years. That was like things like panel vans and stuff. And they moved that now to 10 years. However, we still face a hurdle with that. The hurdle with that is that in the past, we could only, and up to now, we can only import like the panel vans on personal import. But we asked the minister to reconsider that decision and let us be able to import it in our dealer's license so we can bring it and stock it. In that way, it would be readily available for who wants to purchase it.
Let me bring Vice President Fields into the discourse this morning. Rondell, great to see you as always. Let's pivot to the EVs, the electric vehicles. I know there was a point in time where there was this massive incentive for people to go electric. Now I'm seeing that there's a particular levy on what will be considered or deemed a luxury EV. Anything, what 400,000 plus? It's now considered luxury. Will that work out ultimately? To walk me through it.
But as I said, I would say I do see that the government made some fair attempts to see if they could alleviate costing, if they could see that they could bring balance. In regard to the question you asked pertaining to the EV, I think, yes, they did understand there's a market for lower-end EV vehicles, but there's also a greater market for higher-end EV vehicles. And I think their desire to incentivize is rather to incentivize on the lower bracket opposed to the higher bracket. So, in other words, persons who may be able to afford some of these luxurious vehicles over the threshold of 400,000 when you pay cost insurance and freight, and it exceeds 400,000 and above, that they intend those persons to contribute some type of taxation, right? So, I mean, it's I would say a fair attempt to kind of balance the scales when it comes to importation versus using tax as a revenue generator as well. So, in person scenarios who can afford particular luxurious vehicles, I think the attempt by the government when it comes to the EV vehicle is to say, all right, pay some percentage of tax on that or revenue on that, because it's not a situation where you're saying that, hey, I need to have a vehicle, this is my first vehicle, this is my only attempt to be able to purchase a vehicle, because you kind of look at the higher end, you're kind of on the higher tier when it comes to the importation of the electric vehicle. As Mr. Baba, just to touch back on some of the points that Mr. Baba alluded to, and I think it's important, even though, yes, we are glad that we've seen the government actually enter into consultation with us, that even the population do have some of the understanding of particular things. As Mr. Baba did state before, this increase of age from 3 to 6 is only on gasoline, diesel, and CNG vehicles for private use. So people need to be aware of that. I mean, I've seen already some misinformation out there, both by persons purporting to be dealers and also from consumers who may believe also that this extends to the hybrid and the electric vehicle. Those still remain the same. Hybrid, the importation, the restriction still remains at 3 years old. And for the electric, it still remains at 2 years old. This is also something that we have said is a wise decision for the government to maintain as well. We understand these vehicles are either vehicles who are battery assisted or actually battery propelled entirely. So we understand that bringing an older vehicle when it comes to the hybrid and the electric at 6 years is something that we believe may be a little, tricky and risky. So we commend them when it comes to, keeping the balance, still saying, hey, we want to be able to have some tier of vehicles that we could get the price to go down, which they decided to make that decision on the gasoline, the CNG, and also the diesel vehicles that are for private use. Another thing as well I've been hearing circling as well, people need to understand that the gasoline and the diesel in that bracket still attract motor vehicle taxes, they still attract customs duty, and they still attracts VAT as well, value-added tax on those vehicles. So whereas you will see some level of decrease, you still can't believe that is going to slice in half or is going to slice in 3/4. I'm already seeing people having those types of misconceptions that's taken place. So we are saying the government has made a very, very valuable attempt. We must remember also, guys, Jace, that over the last 3 years, the last minister did very well on increasing these taxes. Every budget, nearly every budget. I'm going to say every single one, but there were specific budgets where the higher the engine CC goes up, he increased the taxes particularly. So we just want the consumers to also be aware of these things, particularly. I mean, we are dealers. We understand how to import vehicles and we understand the nuances. This is also for the persons who are attempting or who will try to attempt to import themselves or trust persons who may not be trained to import on their behalf. Well, may give them prices and not understand how to really calculate the tax regime.
Well, as you mentioned that, and probably President and you also, Rondell, could weigh in. For those returning nationals, I'm seeing where the customs duty, the concessions that would have been granted, the VAT that would have been waived, it's no more, it's removed. What say you concerning that development, the removal of the concessions that would have been enjoyed by returning nationals who want to come home and settle, bring themselves back home?
Now, Jason, that was something I had a problem with. And I will say why. Because persons were claiming to have returned to this country. They bought a car for a friend or family or someone here, and then they went back. So the country has foregone a lot of taxes, and I would say it was not how it's supposed to be. It was not following the laws of the country, because this was if you are returning to live in this country. And this has happened for years, and it continued to happen. So again, I commend the government for this, because this was a loss of revenue, and it was cheating the system. Persons who knew a friend or knew someone could have bring in a car, they left it here, and then they went back. So this is something that even I have raised this about maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, because I saw what was happening. And it's the same thing as what persons may be hauled before the courts now. I'm just saying allegations of that. Person will be hauled before the court because they claim they would have got the taxes off, they bought the vehicle, somebody else have the vehicle. So this is something that I commend the government, and I'm happy that this practice has been stopped.
Wow.
So persons have to understand. Yeah, Jason.
No, go ahead. I didn't even realize that well, as we say in local parlance, that kind of bubble was taking place. I had no idea.
Yeah, that has been happening very, very long. Persons were coming back claiming they're coming back to the country. They're bringing an expensive car, get all the taxes waived, and then they leave and they go back.
Because my godfather lived in England for years, and he's back, and he brought back his Jaguar, and he's home. He's back home. He's not going back, and he drives his nice Jaguar, a nice old school Jaguar. He had it for years in England, and it's here now. So I always thought that people went about it the straight and narrow, but I didn't realize people were cutting corners.
Yeah, it happened quite a lot, and I have mentioned this about 7 or 8 years ago, but nothing was done at that point in time. Because whenever I have a system like this, where persons are getting tax exemption, you must have follow-up to make sure it is being used properly and it is not being abused. And this was happening. Maybe this government decided to do something about it. And again, it is something that should have been done many years ago.
Rondell, I mean, that is quite I mean, obviously you're in the industry, so you would have been aware of what Mr. Barber just mentioned. As we look to wrap things up, just some closing remarks. Generally, what grade you will say you will give this particular budget as it pertains to the industry, the sector that you represent, the Automotive Dealers Association?
I mean, as I said before, I see that as a fair attempt. I mean, I can't expect a silver one to be swung in the first blow. The thing that I'm most impressed with is that there was a consultative process. There was a direction that the government had made allusion to when it came to our industry, and we were able to, inject, our experience into some of their suggestions. I wouldn't say that they took every single thing, but at the end of the day, particularly they listened to a lot that we had to say. As I said, one of the other things I would really be concerned with, and it's not even from dealer side, more so the consumer side as well, is I did over here, I need to go into deeper research of increases of certain rates to the bank and these things. So these things we really try to, we would hope that it doesn't really impact the customer when it comes to procurement of loans and these kind of things, because 95% of the cars, if not 99% of our purchases, are driven by loans that are procured from financial institutions and these kind of things. So, but generally, as I would say, the attempt is what was meaningful. I would say, in my humble view, that they tried to listen to the people. That's something I think we didn't get before, while still trying to keep certain safeguards up there. And I mean, I can't dismiss that fact at all. There are some things still that I think that are important. If they really want to see the savings that they may really want to see when it comes to this very same gasoline vehicles, 6-year-old vehicles, they would have to look at the past tax regime that was implemented. But if it's just a removal of value-added taxes or something, if you really want to see that drastic slice in price.
VP Fields, I want to thank you so much for the perspective. President Babwa, you have the closing remark. Go right ahead.
Jason, I think the budget was an excellent budget based on what we were hearing, based on what we got for the last 6, 7, 8 years. And I'll tell you why. We were promised when gas prices were increased, they said this subsidy was a problem. And we would get a fluctuation of the prices at the pump. So when oil price go down, we would have got the benefit at the pump. But this never happened for so many years. So for this government to reduce the price and actually take $1 off a liter of super fuel is something that the citizens would have been looking for when the prices were increased. So that was a big plus. The other thing that I keep hearing is that there were small charges that persons made a big deal about. For example, you have custom processing fee, which has been $40 for a lot of years, ever since I have been imported. $40 to process a document. It increased to $80. Then you had a container examination fee, which was $525 ever since cock have teeth. And it has not moved from that up till now, Jason. I'm telling you about 30, 40 years. Now, if you take that in the context of a container, people keep saying that this is raised by 100% and they would have to pass this cost on. You tell me you are importing a container valued at $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $525 increase, which would go up to $1,050 per container. Now, you can't look at it as a container. You have to look at the contents that is in the container, the value. So if something value $200,000, you are going to pass $525 on to the customer and create a fearmonger of price increase. This was, and I heard persons who I would say are versed in financing would make this kind of statement.
Well, President, I want to thank you as always for the perspective. Randall, you too, sincere thanks, and I'm happy to know that there was some consultation before these decisions were put forward via the budget 2026. We'll touch base soon, gentlemen. All the best.
Thank you, Jason. Have a nice day.
Yes, man, for sure. Let's get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. We come back with your calls and so much more after 7.
Food basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale, retail, everything for you. A remush, a water, shop, flare, confused. Food basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food basket.
Marketplace Champlain, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Tile Depot Diwali sale on now. Stunning floors at dazzling prices. 12 by 12, $750. 17 by 17, $975. 18 by 18, $995. 20 by 20, $15.95. And 22 by 22, only $20. Visit Tile Depot Limited today at Banyan Chase Village. Call 234-4402. Make your home shine this Diwali with big savings at Jima Home Furnishers. Get an amazing 30% off on all furniture, including sofas, dining room sets, beds, and much, much more. Celebrate the season with Jima Home Furnishers' unbeatable value and transform your home with comfort and style today. Where everything is on sale this Diwali. Visit any of our 3 locations, El Dorado, Kelly Village, or Kuva, or give us a call at 235-4925, or visit our website at jimahomefurnishers.com.
Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Fresh goods on every aisle with best prices. For the best market around. High quality meat pound for pound. Get the best for less. Start shopping. Go to Southern Food Basket. Shopping how you like it. High quality at the best prices. Every aisle just wide and spacious. So spend less at Southern Food Basket. Good food at great prices for sure. Come get what you're looking for.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 Trin or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 Trin or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Whether you're an athlete, a business professional, or simply someone who values their health, Omega XL can empower you to keep doing what you love. Don't let joint discomfort hold you back.
Live long, stay strong with the XL brand.
Muscle Russell.
A very good morning. I'm Akash Samaru with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. Chief Justice Ivor Archie has announced that he will proceed on retirement from today. Just last month, on September 16th, Archie announced that he will be retiring from office during this law term, marking the end of an almost 18-year tenure. In a statement issued last evening, he said, "The time has come," and formally notified Acting President Wade Mark of his decision. He went on to say that Trinidad and Tobago has been good to him, and he hopes that he has been equally good to the country. He then wished his successor the very best. Over $16 million in legal fees was spent by the Office of the Prime Minister and Paria Fuel Trading Company on the Commission of Inquiry into the Paria diving tragedy. Abiding by a court order, the names of those lawyers and the fees paid to them were released yesterday. The Office of the Prime Minister under the previous PNM administration spent $9.8 million on legal fees, with senior counsel Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj paid over $3.2 million for his services. Meanwhile, Paria paid around $6.4 million in legal fees to 5 lawyers, inclusive of senior counsel Gilbert Peterson. Paria, however, did not state how much each of the 5 lawyers made. This information has drawn criticism from the lone survivor of the tragedy, Christopher Buttram, who said the fees disgusted him. Buttram told CNC3 News that while these lawyers earned millions, no compensation was paid to the families of the men who died. And Tobago was hit by a second blackout in less than 12 hours, and up to last evening, many parts of the island were without electricity. The latest outage happened around 6:30 yesterday evening. TNTech was still trying to determine what caused a massive blackout that knocked out power to 90% of Tobago. This comes hours after a massive power failure yesterday morning, which left about 90% of the island without electricity. Yesterday, TNTech said the first blackout around 10 a.m. was caused by a system shut down during maintenance work at the Cove Power Station. Power was restored just after midday. Well, those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC radio network.
Need to upgrade to a better phone system? Contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing. In office or remote, our phone system allows you to take every call. Grow your bottom line by offering excellent customer service. Call 217-1895 or 628-8182 or email today.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
23 minutes after 7 o'clock. Welcome to the second hour of your morning brew for this wet Wednesday. Now, we want to get into some more conversations, but before that, let's see what's happening via our daily health tip. Enjoy.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Did you know that the prostate, a small gland located just below the bladder in men, plays a significant role in our reproductive system? It's not a topic we discuss every day, but understanding it can be crucial, especially when it comes to prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is one of the most common types of cancer among men, but many are unaware of its basics and the importance of early detection. Let's dive into some essential insights that every man should know. Firstly, what exactly is prostate cancer? Well, it's a condition where cells within the prostate gland begin to grow uncontrollably. This can lead to several health challenges, and if left unchecked, serious complications. Now, who's at risk? While prostate cancer can affect any man, certain factors increase the risk's age, particularly if you're over 50, family history, and even your race, with African American men being at a higher risk. Moreover, lifestyle choices like diet and exercise play a part too. How can we detect it early? There are a couple of key screening methods, the PSA test and the digital rectal exam. These aren't every man's favorite appointments, but they're crucial for catching the disease before it shows symptoms. Speaking of symptoms, they can vary but often include issues like difficulty urinating or the presence of blood in urine. If you're experiencing any such symptoms, it's vital to consult a healthcare professional immediately. If diagnosed, the treatment options depend on the stage and aggressiveness of the cancer. These can range from surgery and radiation therapy to hormone therapy and even chemotherapy. It's a journey, but one you won't have to walk alone. Living with prostate cancer isn't just about managing physical symptoms. Emotional support from family, friends, and support groups plays a critical part in the journey. And let's not forget prevention. A healthy lifestyle isn't just good for your heart. It can also reduce your risk of prostate cancer. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and avoiding smoking are all key components.
Also, inflammation plays a significant role in prostate cancer. Chronic inflammation can damage DNA, creating an environment where cancer cells can thrive. This persistent inflammation not only damages tissues, but also alters cellular behavior, leading to the uncontrolled growth characteristic of cancer. Understanding the link between inflammation and cancer helps us realize the importance of managing inflammation. Lifestyle factors such as diet, physical activity, and avoiding smoking can influence inflammation levels in the body.
In conclusion, being informed and proactive about prostate cancer is crucial. With early detection and proper treatment, many men continue to lead fulfilling lives. If you or someone you know is over 50 or at high risk, encourage them to talk to their doctor about prostate cancer screening. It's a conversation that could save a life. Remember, you're not alone in this. Reach out, get screened, and take charge of your health today. Note, for more information, contact your local healthcare providers.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Sincere thanks as always. So it's an action-packed second hour. Matter of fact, I might have to postpone the calls until tomorrow. What we're going to do is get ready for the pause and we come back with Tobago Talks. And yes, in keeping with the Tobago Carnival theme and mood and energy, we have that discussion. Tobago Talks with the president of the Tobago October Carnival Association, Dexter Sandy. He joins me next.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Presenting the most modern pharmaceutical facility in the country, Food Basket Hyperfarm Pharmacy Food Basket Complex, Arima. We stock the widest range of health and beauty products, baby supplies, stationery, fragrances, and cosmetics. Our organic, sugar, and gluten-free products cater to vegans and the health conscious. A wide assortment of dispensary medication and over-the-counter items at the most affordable prices. Make Hyperfarm Pharmacy your choice. Located on the compound of Food Basket Complex, Arima.
Ho, 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 ho. Start the season sweet with Jimmy Abood's annual Christmas and October sale. Get up to 60% off on curtains, sheet sets, floor mats, upholstery fabric, and more. Shop now at the last big sale of the year.
Panadol's new formula. 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
Listen every Wednesday, Tobago Talks, and when Tobago Talk, we listen. Dexter Sandy, president of the Tobago October Carnival Association, joins me on the Zoom line. Let me say happy Tobago Carnival to you, Dexter. Great to see you as always.
Good morning to all your viewers.
How it's shaping up, man? This is the action week, I guess mere days before the real festivity, which will of course be the Juve and the culmination on Sunday for the Parade of the Bands. How we looking?
Yeah, well, but Tobago has been shaping. I mean, we kicked off last week. We had the Monarchs of Mars last Friday. We had Pan Omega, which really is the Tobago Panorama last Saturday. You know, a lot of participation, a lot of people coming out. The vibes have been building. We went straight into Blue Food Festival on Sunday, and now we enter all the fetes that you could possibly attend. You choose. All happening right now, leading up into the climax this weekend of the parade.
And what I'm happy about, I'm seeing some live streams on YouTube, so I guess for those folks here in Trinidad and far removed, you could log in and see some of the action live. Will that continue with the major activities under the association's umbrella?
Definitely. A lot of live streams are being done and covered by media houses and even content creators. So it's all in an effort to ensure that the world knows about Tobago Carnival, and they could see it firsthand, and next year probably book very early to come in and enjoy.
So even though we book early, you know, the major concern is getting to Tobago, and I'm seeing here with a media release by the Office of the Chief Secretary, 3,200 extra seats have been added to the existing stock, supplementing the 18,792 seats that already exist via the air bridge. Would this suffice? And more so, because that's a big concern. Everybody's saying, boy, I want to go, but I can't get nothing, everything book out. Literally, could I book something today and get to Tobago this weekend?
That's definitely true. The demand exceeds the supply. So as it is right now, if you go on the system, you're not able to get a flight. You know, and it's something that, you know, when it comes to Carnival, we as the masqueraders, the participants, we try to plan out way in advance. And for quite a while, we have had a challenge with getting seats. I mean, we welcome the addition that have been put on within this week. Some persons have been successful in getting on, others still challenged, you know, but it says there's a bigger issue at hand, and we really need, if it is Tobago is to survive on tourism, we really need to get this fixed. We really need to expand the capacity of getting persons to the island, especially for a major festival such as October Carnival.
No, but Dexter, I mean, the reality is Tobago Carnival didn't just show up. We didn't know about this last week or last month. I mean, this would have been on the calendar for an entire year. So I wonder why, as always, this last minute to make the announcement, to even make the request.
Some of these few questions we ask ourselves, because the data is there. the data shows last year, the year before, the progressive growth of the carnival and the number of persons coming across. I mean, the Inter-Island Ferry Company, they have added at least 4 sailings per day from today straight down until Saturday, and also on the return leg Monday, Tuesday, right? So they have increased capacity, and from what the Port Authority said to us, the average sailing capacity is about 750 to 800 passengers, and we're having 4 per day arriving. So we're seeing where they have made some increase. The ALF, they have made an increase, and we just really need to continue to build capacity to bring more people on the island.
Are there any direct flights coming from, let's say, North America, from probably Europe, specifically for the carnival in the upcoming days?
Outside of the regular schedule of the direct flight that comes to Tobago from New York on a Thursday, I am not aware of any other direct international arrivals here to Tobago. As far as I am aware, they all land at Port of Spain, and that's what causes a bottleneck as well. You know, it's something that we really need to re-examine. I mean, we're going into year 5. I don't know if we'll get it right then, but the powers that be need to get it right. We need to plan from now. We already know the date for next year and the year after. So it's all about strategic planning and getting it done.
So obviously getting there is one issue, but when we reach on the island and step foot on the soil, one needs to move around in a rental, and you need to put your head down on a bed. So what's the bed stock like, and are there even rentals still readily available?
So in terms of the room stock, the information at hand is that we have not reached 100% capacity. There are still rooms available at varying prices, at varying properties, so that is still available. When it comes to rental cars, I know that I've received many calls where persons are not able to still get a rental car at this time. So if you really didn't book in advance, you may be challenged right now trying to book a last-minute rental. But the taxi services are operating. There are buses that are maxis as it is, and that are available for hire. So you're ready just to reach out to those associations, get a contact, and you and your group, your family, moving around, you could book these rides and be able to move from event to event. That's what we have to do at this point in time.
Well, you know, Tobago Carnival is clearly the litmus test based on the budget presentation and the levy on alcohol and cigarettes, which is, well, as we know, many people, that's their party tonic to give them the vibe. Is it that prices have changed? What's going on with the pricing as it pertains to patrons for the mass and the parties for the actual carnival?
So yesterday I had a conversation with one promoter who expressed a lot of concern about that, because our pricing would have already been set. You know, when it comes to mass, when it comes to these particular fetes, and now that with the change in the alcohol, very specific, they have to now adapt in terms of what they're offering. I know the all-inclusive for one would feel it the most, because persons tend to consume a high amount when it comes to alcohol. And, you know, their entry price would have been pegged against, you know, spreading the budget in a particular way. It's going to be a challenge this year, and it's just up to the individuals to really, you know, bob and weave and figure out how it is they're going to really ensure the masquerader or the patron of the fete gets a good experience and not really be negatively impacted.
What's the route for the parade on Sunday? And again, walk us through the Juve first and just give us some details leading into Sunday.
Yeah, Juve kicks off at 4 a.m. The bands will be starting in and around Shore Park Complex. They're going to make their way onto the Claude Noel Highway, come down to Wilson Road, make the right in front of the port, and head down the Calypso Rose Boulevard. That's the expanse that leads from the Isle of Tobago sign across the waterfront, a majestic route. The night mass, they will begin at Shore Park Complex, but they will come along that same Calypso Rose Boulevard, and they will stay on that route for the night. Saturday night, we begin at 7 p.m. until about just after midnight. I think it's 1 a.m. we go up to. A lot of bands have been registered and are expecting a high participation on the road for the night mass. And then we climax on the Sunday at 10 a.m. We kick off at Shore Park and environs. The majority of bands will hit the highway. They are the traditional mass bands. They will be coming along the Calypso Rose Boulevard, coming into Scarborough. And we have a variety of staging points as well in Scarborough. So the spectator zones are spread out. Persons are encouraged to come into Scarborough, choose a spectator zone, and you'll be able to get that advantageous view of all the costumes, all the bands that are going to be parading on the road.
Is there a stage that people cross, or is there a climax area? Is there a kind of focal point that this is the let go zone, and we could just yeah.
So there are actually two zones set up as staging, not necessarily a physical built stage, but a staging area. So Carnival City, Market Square, that is one designated area that masqueraders can experience a wow effect and a wow experience there, as well as on the Calypso Rose Boulevard, a little lower down, closer to Barcode. There is also another staging area that we're going to have those wow effects, and masqueraders will be crossing that zone and displaying to the viewers there. So we have two staging areas for this year.
What's the conversations like with the security apparatus in Tobago? All hands on deck to ensure a safe and clean festivity?
Yes. Yeah. Tobago continues to be that beacon, that light that says Tobago's carnival is the safest carnival in the region. And we know that the Toronto Police Service, they have brought up additional officers to support the troops on the ground. I know that the TRHA would have requested additional ambulances on island to support in the event of any emergency. We have additional doctors on hand. And all this information would have come from strategic meetings that we've held over the past 2 months. And just making sure that all entities team up in terms of disaster preparedness. They are also ready. So all the agencies are on standby. They're going to be out in their numbers to support us, the masqueraders on the road, and all the fed promoters as well.
From the numbers so far, does this look like, or do you anticipate this will be the biggest thus far? Because I know it's been growing every year, but how the numbers are looking for the 2025 staging?
So there are mass bands that would have recorded 50 to 60% growth in terms of participation. I know there are a lot more fetes on the island, and even this year we have that signature event that has teamed up with the Tobago event called Paint. Stink and Dirty and Paint have teamed up, and Stink and Dirty is going to be here on Friday morning, and that is a major event worldwide that people are aware of and are going to be attending. So definitely there are a lot more persons coming to the island that will be on the island. And I mean, we're seeing it through what's happening via the inter-island challenges. But we are here, we are open for tourism, and we're just going to try our best to put on that solid quality product.
Are you getting a buy-in from all of Tobago? Because I know obviously with any carnival product, there's a trickle-down effect. Taxi man, the corn soup lady, the burger man, everybody, get a chance to participate. But let's say from Charlottesville right back to Palatouvier to Roxborough is it buy-in from the entire length and breadth, north, south, east, west in Tobago?
Well, as far as I'm aware, yes. Tobago is on board because this festival really benefits anybody who is into business on the island, as far as Charlottesville right down to Crown Point. Everybody is now poised based on your business to align with a particular event or a band, or even the visitors that are going to be arriving, to get your product out and have persons sample it, participate in it, and make some money. The economy of Tobago is supposed to benefit from this product, and it has the tremendous opportunity to do so. So I would really encourage all persons in business to really, if it is you have not tapped on a door, knocked on a door as yet with regards to probably a mass band or collaborating, it's not too late. Reach out to us, even the promoters, and see what could be done, because there's money to be made.
So Dexter, I would imagine it's official now. This Tobago staging of the carnival is a standalone. I would imagine when it comes to the national carnival calendar, February next year, 2026, there's not really going to be any major rollout in Tobago. This is going to be a standalone going forward.
Oh, no, well, National Carnival still exists because as a republic, we are bound to have that event in February. February has a different association that really manages that experience. But I must say that there are different things that they're looking at in terms of how do we build out that particular product to complement what happens in October. In October, we do not have the Kiddies Carnival. So February is really the prime time to really focus on the kids, get them more involved in the creativity, getting them on the road, because they are the future masqueraders for October down the road, yeah? The national panorama still happens. The Tobago bands have been very key in participating across small, medium, and large bands, and so that will continue. Calypso is there. Our tents in Tobago will continue to produce Calypsonians to try and hit the stage at Skinner Park. So those activities still happen at National Carnival time, and they will continue.
Yeah. Well, I know this October product, it's another great opportunity for the emerging stars from the Sister Isle to get a space, to get opportunity to perform, to be on the big stage, and hopefully with that kind of presence, that kind of platform, they can obviously take their talents far and wide. Just give me a little take us to the music, the feel. Are people actually doing music exclusively for this Tobago Carnival experience?
Yes, there are a lot of, actually tonight there is the Soca Titans competition, and that's the young Tobago talent coming out to perform their soca songs. And I mean, this is really Tobago producing its own music, so when the visitors do come, they do hear the authentic Tobago sounds. I mean, yes, they're going to hear the regulars of the Marshall, the Bungie, the Fair, and everybody, but there is authentic Tobago soca artists that have music out and produced. So they're going to be having the Soca Titans competition tonight, as well as tomorrow there's also the Calypso show. So we do have the elements that are rooted in Tobago, from Tobago, that will be on the road.
Excellent. Well, as we wrap things up, President Sandy, I'll give you a chance to put in some closing remarks and put that invitation, not that it's really needed because I know this carnival is well subscribed, but for some of the seats that might open up in the days ahead, why we need to be in Tobago this weekend.
Yeah, so definitely once you're coming on island and you might have just been coming across to just spectate, I think now is the opportune time to still check in with a mass band, their distribution center, pick up a Juve package. They're reasonably priced, most of them between $500 to $600, or even a pretty mask costume or the night mask. Get involved, sample the product. There's no better way to understand and appreciate Tobago Carnival outside of participating in it firsthand. So I would encourage anybody who's coming across, make sure you dip in it. Same way you're dipping the salt on at Pigeon Point or Straw Bay. Get involved in the carnival experience and spread the word.
What you said was the price point again for, let's say, what's the average price point for a Juve package, or let's say the Pretty Mass on Sunday? About $500-$600, is that?
Yeah, Juve t-shirt packages are $500-$600. That's it's very affordable. And when it comes to the Pretty Mass, we have had costumes from $2,200 to probably as high as about $3,200 in terms of costuming. So it's very reasonable because we have priced these products at that point because we know persons also have to rent a car, they have to purchase food, they have to pay for accommodation. So Tobago's Carnival is really one of the most affordable carnival there is, right? So I just want to encourage everybody to come, participate. It is affordable.
President Sandy, all the best, man. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a tremendous Tobago Carnival experience 2025. All the best.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, man.
That's right. It's on. Literally, as we speak, I'm sure parties happening today, in the day, straight into the nighttime. He said the Titans is happening tonight. That's their Monarch, power soca, groovy soca kind of vibe. Tomorrow is the Kaiso. They have the Juve on Friday, into the Pretty Mass on Sunday. Goodness, good stuff. Up next, the TTIVF, infertility and mental health. Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain joins me live on set to get into this very important discussion.
Your turn, the road, the Lovers Comedy Show is coming to the east. Cipriani Liba College.
one show only. Sunday the 2nd of November, 6:30 p.m. baby.
Tickets available at Electronics Arena, Doman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral, Val Park, Gay Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, West Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Chaguanas, and C3 Center Mall, San Fernando. And IslandEtickets.com. For more info, call 683-0356. Eastside, are you ready to laugh? Well,
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
Your world never stops moving. That's why for over 40 years, Parts World has been here to keep it running. From first homes to family chaos to celebrations with friends, our appliances fit your world. And when something goes wrong, our service and parts departments are ready with the experts and the parts you need to keep life moving. No matter your world, Parts World fits. Appliances, service, parts. Trusted for over 40 years.
Whoa. Please. What do you think about the PNM in opposition?
Now, opposition is a force. So if the opposition opposes our next opposition, is it really an opposition? Do you think Barry will be able to give water to all? Okay, for that question, tune in to the rundown on CNC3. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. every Wednesday. Yeah. All right?
We're going.
Are we doing People's Work?
Yeah, where?
No, People's Work. It's done on CNC3 on the rundown. Oh, you thought it was here?
Yeah, but
no, it's done on CNC3.
Caribbean real estate has never looked like this. Love or location, yard or view, budget or bliss, and the agents who keep it all together. Every episode is a decision you'll want to argue about and a story you'll never forget.
Be the first to watch Keeping It Real Estate, premiering soon only on CNC3. Brought to you courtesy First Citizens, Guardian General Insurance Limited, Courts, Jameson, and D-Best Toys.
Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain joins me on set for another important discussion. Every discussion is always a great learning curve. The medical director of TTIVF, in with what is, I think, a timely discussion, Doc, because it is October and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And in that regard, I would imagine mental health and infertility, that correlation and the importance that you place on that discussion with your patients and those who seek just counsel. Again, Doc, great to see you and welcome.
JW, it's always lovely to be here. It's such an important subject, mental wellness. In fact, your mental wellness is so interlinked with your physical wellness and health that I can't say to people how important it is. And when you're dealing with infertility, it's got huge impacts. It really has. And it's something we see a lot, and we have a huge amount of professional support to look for mental wellness problems.
So do you have counselors?
We do. We have 2 counselors in our clinic. Shout out to Jean-Luc and Anna. They're really busy, and I was hoping one of them could be here this morning, so apologies I haven't brought one of them with me today. But yeah, hugely important. They're a large part of what we do in the clinic, because when you're thinking about infertility, you might be stunned to hear that if you do the research, infertility patients face as much stress as patients going through cancer treatment.
I've heard of the term, and I guess you could elaborate. I've heard of a term called clinical depression that sometimes patients go through when having to deal with this. Could you elaborate some more?
So clinical depression is a medical illness that can be treated. So you think about depression, we think about general sadness. A lot of people have sadness about infertility. They have anxiety about going through medical treatments. But sometimes that can tip into a medical illness that actually needs treatment. So the feelings of sadness or guilt or frustration, if they persist and they go on for weeks and weeks, and they're also encompassing other things like loss of appetite or a loss of joy for life. Some people have insomnia, sleep disturbance. So there are a whole range of symptoms around depression, and when it just goes on, that's not just sadness, that's not just being a little under the weather and a bit stressed, that's clinical depression. It's a medical illness, and it needs treatment.
What could be, in terms of the treatment, because I would imagine there would be triggers, and we live, sad to say, it's a beautiful space. We love Trinidad and Tobago, we love the islands, but there are many who could be sometimes very insensitive, and sometimes remarks, even from people who are close, could, I would imagine, send somebody into a kind of tailspin. So what's your advice in that regard? How do we find ways to block out or to not be triggered by sometimes out-of-timing statements or just people who are around who might not be as supportive with the particular moment?
I think one of the commonest things fertility patients say drives them up the wall is when friends, family, or people around them who don't know say, just relax and it will happen, don't stress out. So stress, as far as we can see, does not cause infertility. We don't know, I mean, it's a bit like the chicken and the egg. Infertility absolutely causes stress. But what you shouldn't be saying to people is, just relax and it will happen, just look at stress. UNICEF just we had a report from UNICEF talking about Gaza. People in Gaza, I think we would all agree, the war there, living some of the worst stress on the planet at the moment. There's a baby being born every 10 minutes in Gaza, sometimes to dead women. Women are having cesareans. They've been bombed, their baby's still alive. You know, fertility isn't caused by stress. Let's look at the reality of the world around us. So telling people to relax and just, you know, relax, don't stress, and a baby will happen, is hurtful and really thoughtless. But what you can do is say to people, you know, I wonder if you're having trouble, I'm here to talk, I'm an open space. And if you see the symptoms in your friends of depression, help them try and get some professional help. These are the things you can do to support.
And the counselors at the, you know, who there with you, how long do the sessions take, and is that, let's say, a first engagement before we even start with the treatment?
They're actually woven into everything. So our counselors are generally free as part of treatment. So if you're doing IVF, we get you just to kind of meet them and have a chat, because they want to identify anxiety, they want to give you coping mechanisms. They're there to help with relationships. You know, when you're going through treatment, you may have different views on what you want to do. They often help with decision making. Should I be doing this treatment or not? Obviously, they're there for people who are choosing donor sperm, donor eggs. And then most people now love the fact that they're free, and they might need them at different times. People go through pregnancy loss. So a reality of fertility treatment is that some people will lose a baby. The counselors are instrumental in helping you through grief and loss. So they have a multitude of tasks to do in the clinic, and they're there for all of us. They're actually there for the staff as well. So we love our counselors, and we go and talk to them when we need them as well.
And that's if somebody is going through the treatment with a partner or even by themselves, because I'm sure there are many who would go also by themselves.
Absolutely. We have single women. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? I would say it's so woven into the fabric of the clinic that sometimes people don't even notice it. And it's there as a support when you need it, but what we try to do is introduce people to the counsellors long before they're going to need it in a crisis, because the counsellors are there for crisis situations, but they're there just, you know, your general bread and butter dealing with fertility issues.
I would imagine overcoming the mental hurdle is probably of paramount importance, probably one of the major parts of the treatment.
And I wonder if it increases success rates. I think if you're generally sleeping better because you've had some therapy or you've had some advice and you're feeling supported, and, you know, maybe your eggs grow better or your sperm is a little better, I think the mental wellness of our bodies is so interwoven with the physical side that we can't ignore it. And I think we ignore it too much in general life as well.
Indeed. So I would imagine when someone calls, you engage, get information, and more or less that counseling could start. As you said, it's interwoven, it's part of the treatment fabric, but literally you'll start with an in-depth conversation to really get a sense as to where someone is at.
Yeah, and the counsellors do that. They have, a half-hour session to really figure out what's going on and what's happening. And then we'll see some patients, they come into clinic and we're like, I really think, first of all, let's start with the counsellor. You guys are so anxious. They've got so much going on. You can't even make a decision what treatment you want. Are you really even in a place where you're going to be happy parents? You want to be creating babies, but you want to be creating strong, happy, functional parents as well. And that's a really important part of what we do.
I'll give you a chance to put some closing remarks in, Dr. Minto-Bain.
So I would say to everybody, TTIVF is a phenomenal clinic. As you can hear, we kind of weave everything in. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, so if you think you're struggling with depression, anxiety, it's not a thing that is unusual. It's extremely common. There's professional help. It's a medical condition. We've all dealt with it at different times in our lives. 1 in 3 of us are going through depression right now. So, and if you're seeing somebody who's got symptoms, reach out a hand, talk to them. There is help. If you're having infertility, there's help in our clinic, TTIVF. But you can reach out to your family practitioner. There's therapists, psychologists. So Mental Health Awareness Month, let's be more open. Let's talk about it. And if you're suffering, reach out for help. Help is there.
Indeed, infertility and mental health, a very important conversation. You could reach out to Dr. Minto-Bain and her team to advance this most important discussion. Have a great week ahead.
Thank you, JW. We'll be back talking about something exciting in November, I promise you.
Oh, for sure. We look forward. We look forward. As always, every single Wednesday, we get a chance to touch base with Dr. Catherine Minto-Bain. Let's take the pause and we get into the Champions of Business, the awards, SME and entrepreneurship. That's right, the Chamber and their their gala, their Hyatt this time around, and it's happening. Full details after the break.
Now this is Radical Trading, you understand? And them have everything to cover anything. Radical Trading have the best fabric designs for your upholstery needs, yeah? So furniture, car, boat, tent, even material for school bags.
This will look really nice on my couch, boy.
They even making pillow too.
Sprang.
Oui?
Oh shucks, I forget my money.
Serious?
They could pay for it for me.
Me and my big mouth boy, I wonder if Radical get thing to cover mouth yet.
Radical Trading, 4 locations nationwide.
Welcome to ABC Doors and Windows, TNT's #1 destination for the best quality and widest variety of doors and windows. Enhance your space with our premium wooden, steel panels, fiberglass, and steel security doors, complemented by our aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows. Shop for the best quality and service at ABC Doors and Windows. Visit our impressive showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to get started. Trust ABC for a better choice.
Well, let me tell you, the gala is around the corner, but before that, we must tell you the story that would have brought about a particular glory. And we look at certain businesses, established names that are on the up and up, but it starts with that particular drive, that momentum. And that's what the Champions of Business Awards is all about. And the SME and Entrepreneurship Award definitely gives you that deeper dive, that deeper perspective. And to share with us and give us all the intimate details, great pleasure to have with us Sonji Pear-Chase, President of the TTCIC. Great to see you. Sonji Pear. Yes.
Glad to see you, Jason, as always.
As always, and you're with great company this morning because from, of course, Republic Bank, their marketing manager, Michelle Johnson. Good morning, Michelle. Great to see you.
Hi, JW. Hi, Dorothy.
Ladies,
hi, Michelle.
Definitely, it's really an exciting one this morning because we're treating with the SMEs, we're treating with the entrepreneurs, we're treating with those who have started their journey, and I know that they will continue to grow, they will expand, but as I mentioned, many see the glory, but not many know the story, and I guess the award and the behind the scenes and the true series and all that gives people a deeper perspective. Let me start off with President Pear-Chase to tell us what you think will be the biggest takeaway for those looking on, not even for those attending, but for the businesses looking on at this. What you think should be, or do you anticipate will be the big takeaway?
Just for those looking on, the big takeaway is to see the humble beginnings. of some of our business leaders. You know, most of us who get into business think that it's all glory. But when we see the struggles, we see the sacrifices, we see the pains and the glory, there is a sense of appreciation that, you know, business is holistic. It's not just about financial gains, it's not just about reward, but it comes with hard work. And that's what build, you know, resilient and sustainable companies in Trinidad and Tobago. So these True series really bring home to the viewing audience the work that goes into building that kind of resilient and sustainable company that we all want at the end of the day.
Well said, President. I guess it's that blueprint, that map for success, and for those looking on, they could follow the example. Let me bring Michelle Johnson in, because from the corporate perspective, from the banking perspective, how important is it for you to be involved and to really fuel this particular project and also the award? Yeah, go right ahead, Michelle.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, I'd say that at Republic Bank, you know, we're dedicated to nurturing the growth of our local economy, investing in our business sectors, and of course, empowering our micro, small, and medium enterprises and entrepreneurs across all segments. You know, it's a pledge we've confirmed in word as a signatory to the United Nations Principles for Sustainable Banking. And in this, we've committed to doing all that we can to contribute to the achievement of the SDGs. And here I'm going to talk about SDG 9, industry and innovation and infrastructure. And then there's SDG 2, zero hunger, and then SDG 17, partnership for goals. Those are important to us. It's an oath that we also live up to through our actions, including through our sponsorship of this TTCIC's Champions of Business, SME and Entrepreneurship Award, and we're delighted to partner with TTCIC on this and celebrate our entrepreneurs.
Indeed. President, I'm seeing that the True series for this particular segment will be hitting the airwaves next Tuesday, that's it?
Next Tuesday. So our first airing was last night. Your viewers would have seen the first episode. Last night we aired the winner of our inductees, for the Business Hall of Fame. That's Jermaine Scott and Bert Mahit. That aired last night. It really went well. I hope your viewers enjoyed the package that we put forward last night. And Jason, I have to take this opportunity to really express the Chamber's profound gratitude to Guardian Media for being our key media partner with the airing of these series. So next Tuesday, October 28th, we'll be airing the series on the SME and the entrepreneurship awardees. So we are encouraging viewers to look out for that on the 28th of October on CNC3.
Indeed.
It will be aired at 8 p.m.
Looking forward next week for sure. And last evening's episode was truly tremendous. Michelle, walk me through, from the banking perspective again, that corporate perspective, some of the financial products in place for the upcoming SMEs and the entrepreneurs who want to scale.
There's a lot that we do for our SMEs. And I want to start first by saying, we see them as heroes of our society. When you think about the farmers that grow our food, that keep us nourished, when you think about the hairstylists, the clothing retailers and all those who keep us beautiful and confident, I mean, those are the people we celebrate. And we have tailored products and services. I'm glad you asked that question, because we look to see what we can do to some persons that are not even viewed as SMEs or as entrepreneurs and important to society. And so we have some packages, our MSME microloan, and that's a bespoke loan package that facilitates, $100,000 in unsecured financing. And not only, when we put that out there, we have had to expand our allocation twice over the uptake that it took. And it really tells us what the market potential is among our SMEs in terms of growth. And I have to add that half of those MSMEs supporting our microloans are women, again, speaking to the potential. Another tailored product that we have is in agribusiness. and is open to operators in various segments of the agri-sector across the value chain. So we look at pre-production inputs, primary production, agro-processing, marketing, distribution services, wherever you are in the chain. And recently we expanded that to include hydroponics. So if you're in that, there's a special package for you. We also have poultry farming. There's a special package for you. And we have some other special products as well if you're in the manufacturing sector, or if you're looking to go into rental, we have commercial mortgages, preferential rates. If it is mixed-use buildings, because some people, they want to have a portion of the building for the business, a portion to live in. We have preferential special offers for that as well. So our entrepreneurs have a lot that they can benefit from. Those are just a few that I've mentioned.
Well said, Michelle Johnson. I guess everyone is covered. Well done. And again, kudos to all those there at Republic Bank Limited, who are the sponsors for this SME and Entrepreneurship Award. President Sonji Pierre Chase, I want to ask you on a personal note, because seeing that the 13th is 20 years of awards, 20 years of this gala, have you taken or put consideration into your evening gown? I know this is a dress-up night. This is a fancy night. You too, Michelle. I mean, we have to come out fancy. Walk me through it. And our tickets even are still available.
Tickets are available. Interested participants can contact the chamber to get their tickets. And Jason, you're right. This is our biggest signature event for the year annually. And because it's our 20th anniversary, really going out with a lot of blitz. Yeah. Going to have a red carpet moment. So it gives the opportunity, Trinidad, we like an opportunity to dress up.
You're going with a local designer, President? You're a local designer?
You'll be surprised, Jason. I'm always full of surprises.
Wait and see. All right, I'll look out for that. Any closing remarks, Michelle Johnson, as we wrap things up in the seconds that remain?
Absolutely. We want every entrepreneur to know that we are invested in you and your success. And that's why we're honored to work together with the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Commerce. We want to shine the spotlight. I mean, you spoke about us dressing up, but the spotlight is really on our SMEs and Entrepreneurship Award nominees, and by extension, all businesses that are driving innovation, driving growth every day here in Trinidad and Tobago. We see your hard work. We see your tenacity, your drive for excellence, and we're cheering you on. So thank you so much, JW. Thank you, Sanji.
You're most welcome, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And Michelle, Jason, you know how we say in Trinidad when somebody like to put their money where their mouth is, and definitely we have to extend our profound thanks to Republic Bank. This is their 5th year of sponsoring these 2 categories of awards. So Republic Bank really put their money where their mouth is. Not only do they have the bespoke products, as Michelle spoke about, for customers. They have supported the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber time and time again in terms of sponsorship. Jason, I just want to mention for your viewing audience, for those who are interested in attending our event, the cost is $995 plus VAT. And you can contact the chamber at events at chamber.org.tt for tickets. You can visit our website for tickets as well. And in closing, in addition to Republic Bank, our special valued sponsor for these 2 categories, I really have to publicly express our appreciation to our sponsors. Calco Limited, Proman, B Mobile Business, Exim Bank, Trinidad and Tobago Limited, Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, and of course, Republic Bank for the SME and entrepreneurship category. Thanks to Michelle and her team.
President, all the best. Michelle, thank you so much, and we look forward to everyone showing up well decked on the 13th.
Thanks, Jason.
All the best, ladies.
It will be amazing. Thank you.
You're most welcome. We take a pause. We come right back as we work our way to 8 o'clock. See you soon.
things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 Trin or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 Trin or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Would you recommend this product to younger people?
Age doesn't really matter. So I think if I was 17, 18 and I get introduced to these products, I would maybe be Superman. So
More Superman?
More Superman.
Absolutely outstanding!
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts,
use of credible sources, and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
A sense in happiness, the outer road and the in detention. Loyalty, I could have back up and leave it, no mention. Accountability.
Trini Boy Juicy on set, so always a joy to have my brethren here with me. I mean, listen, the man touching base before he literally heads to the airport in a couple hours to taking the Tobago October Carnival experience. So for those in Tobago, you're going to get a chance to see Trini Boy Juicy live. But well done, man, on the video, on the new track Investment. It's Afrobeats-esque, but I guess, you know, it's just music, right?
Yeah. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Morning. Thank you for having me. Yeah, Investment is a song. The title Investment is not just speaking about relationship or music, it's your attitude towards life. Whatever you do, what you put in is what you get out of it. And sometimes if you don't get what you expect to get out, it's about knowing that you did your best and you're championing yourself in the highest esteem.
And the consistency, because I mean, you've always remained consistent. You continue to bring out your music, and you know, this sounds like just an expression of where you're at right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's palatable to any audience, you know, and I tend to not just create music that is for the diaspora, but it's for the international markets and something that can transcend through generations. Once you like music, you know, you should be able to engage with the product, you know.
Indeed. Who did the production and in terms of the visuals too? Let's go with the production first.
So production was done by international Nigerian producer Vinny Beats. It was actually the visuals for the video. It's my direction, so I am quite arty in regards to concept, in regards to how the use of lighting, the contrast. You know, if you look on the at the video, it's a lot of detail, very arty, very arty, and mixed and mastered by Madman Johan.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So I had to make sure he touched it, and also there's some subliminal messages in there. I have the the traditional hat is a costume, carnival mask.
Yes.
You know, so in every video I'm showing essence of the culture, but in an artistic way.
Excellent, my friend. So Tobago, you know, you're heading up today. You're going to be gracing any stage. You're going to be playing the mass. What's the game plan for Tobago?
Actually, the purpose of me being in Trinbago is a project that I'm currently working on where I'm giving back to, we spoke at UTT to the young musicians, creatives about my journey, and also saying how we can invest in their culture through advice, through, you know, the struggles that they may face, but it's being persistent, you know, so that's why I'm here. And then obviously this song is sort of the icing on the cake.
Nice.
To visually put it as an idea together.
Where can we find not only the music, but the visuals, and just find you to follow and monitor all the progress?
Yeah, via the socials, so at Trinity Juicy, you know, it's all over the place, you know. We try to pin it and place it in places. It will be on the papers. We're doing a lot of work behind this one, you know.
I know you reside outside, but I guess it's always good to touch foot on soil, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they say, you know, you ain't really... It ain't really released until you come home and let it go. So I have to not only just come home, but I have to come and see you to get the stamp too. You know what I mean?
Yes. Respect, man. Really glad to see you, bro. It's been a minute. Glad that you're here. You're gonna, of course, be in Tobago. Look out for Trinity Boy Juicy, and next season. I mean, obviously, it's, you know, still very much we call the carnival this season, but as you would have mentioned, it's music for beyond the diaspora and beyond the Caribbean shores. So I'm sure we're going to see you again come 2026 in the mix with this amazing track Investment. As we wrap things up, we'll take it to some more visuals. Trinity Boy Juicy as we pull the curtains down on this, the Morning Brew. Respect our manners, my brother.
Thank you.
Yes, man. Godspeed. See you tomorrow.
We are the stage of the pressure.
The Morning Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.
You're watching CNC3. The views and opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of CNC3.